Welcome to the show, Jeff Deforrest. We've got the Jaybird, Jay Keelstock, and AKA the Auction Man, the Polyman, Paul Massell. We're coming to you live from the Auction Gallery of Boca Raton, which is now also known as Jaybird, the Action House. I mean, this place has just taken off. It's skyrocketing. You just got started here. It's already a monster.
It's a monster. We've been here about 3 months now. We just had our 4th auction, and the place is just taken off like a rocket ship. Every one of these auctions are catered. We're catered by the Gramercy Deli, which is right up the street, and we've been averaging 150 to 200 people at every auction, and we're getting them incredible stuff, and we're giving them great buys, and we're having a lot of fun up here.
I like the way you bust balls when the guys come in with the stuff, though. That's the best part of it.
You know, yeah, if you don't have fun
Jaybird,
with it,
if you know the real Jaybird, it's great. Guys coming in, he's schlepping in like some giant bronze, like the Pegasus statue there from Ghostbusters. What are you doing?
It's the original Pegasus guy. How do you bring that piece of shit?
No, but I mean, you know your stuff, Jaybird. I know this for a fact, and you know.
Well, you know, I know your mother for years.
Yeah, my mom and dad, my dad were, I would say, very discriminating when it came to, their critiques of various auction action that they were involved in places that they could buy and sell. They were in the antique business, and they always spoke very highly of the Jaybird. And the one thing, the common thread, I can still hear my dad saying it from the grave, the Jaybird runs a good auction.
Well, I appreciate that.
Which is good to know. I mean,
one thing about your parents, you know, I used to be the showman too. I traveled up and down the East Coast doing antique shows before I got into the auction business. And one thing you could count on every single show, bar none, the first 2 people in that show were Betty and your father.
Michael, yeah.
Michael and Betty Deforrest. They were number 1 and 1A.
They were like Jim Harbaugh. They slept at the recruit's house the night before.
Every single show, they were there, and they knew their stuff. By the time everybody else was just waking up, their basket was filled with the best of the best of the best. They were.
You know, it's great though. Years later, when the Jaybird stops by and goes, Betty, why did you buy this? You bought this off me. That's like my realtor, you know.
You paid how much, Betty?
Your accountant gives you that look.
Yeah.
Like you're buried. You're thinking he's looking at skull and crossbones. He's got the Suffolk entries up on his computer.
Yeah.
But no, I always spoke very highly of you, and it's great you're having a success. Now when's the next auction at the Auction Gallery?
We're running, Jeff, our plan is to run every other week, all through season. So we just had a very successful auction this past Sunday, which was the 17th. We're going to run again on the 31st of January.
Coming right back.
Right back in 2 weeks, off the claim, right? Same level, you know, we're not rising, we're not dropping the horse or anything. We're going to be right there at the same level, and people are looking forward. The seats are sold out 3 days before the auction. And then we're going to be getting ready for a huge Valentine's auction. We're going to run Valentine's Day. We're going to be giving out long stem roses to every woman that comes. We're going to have champagne flowing. And it's going to be jewelry, couture, Chanel bags, scarves, items like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anybody out there that's listening, you want to come up Valentine's Day, come on up. You'll get a long stem rose, and we're going to have just a heck of a lot of fun.
This man was made for TV. It's almost like, I feel like Lee Pete on the old Proline show. And this man is on fire. Now, I can also personally attest to the fact that the Jaybird has buried me personally, as he did. But like some great stuff off him, so I came back, and and the woman in my life who should know better, should be able to distinguish that I have no class. So how am I coming up with this stuff, these marvelous buys on jewelry? And then he sells me a ring, which was an incredible price.
It was a friendship ring. I didn't mean for you to get engaged with it.
So now I'm buried. And your partner, who will introduce on future show, or maybe even today, he'll step in here for a little while. He was explaining to me, well, you know, the last time I went down, it was at the Little Chapel of the Bells. I said, I took a dive there too. So what am I doing?
Standing 8 count. After standing 8 count.
They were counting me out 6, 7. The guys, hey, touch gloves. You okay? You're all right, champ. You want one more round? And sure enough, you wrote me right back into it. And I will say this though. And females, it's a cat fight out there.
Right.
They'd be the first to turn around. And I always check for this. It doesn't matter what they say to your girlfriend about the ring. It's what they say to their friends after she walks away. So I try to eavesdrop on that. And they all go, oh, yeah, it's some ring. Now, if they only knew that they paid like a nickel for it.
We'll never tell what you really paid for it.
People think, and that's the thing. You can even have the presumption of having class just by dealing with the auction man here, the Jaybird.
No, I'll tell you, people, I've been telling people for years and years and years, you said, it's like buying a car. Why pay the retail? You come to the auction, we get them from estates. Okay, we get them from estates. The first person absorbed all the costs, and we sell them pretty much for whatever the value is going to bring that day. And you can get future heirlooms for 10-15% of the actual value. And it's a shame what people spend on some of this jewelry when they could just get it for a song and a dance. Case in point.
Yeah,
right
no,
here.
but I think that you also have to factor in the grief tax.
Yeah.
And this is a heavy amount of juice to pay, as a polling man can relate to.
Right.
It's like ridiculous juice that's on. I mean, this ring that I paid like $500 for is probably going to end up.
It's going to cost you $1 million.
4 or 5 years alone. Yeah. Little Chapel of the Bells. You can see your partner, the chalk outline of my previous wife, outside the Little Chapel of the Bells. We didn't even make it to the parking lot, and that thing went south. It was bad. All right, we're going to talk a bunch of sports on the show and a lot of different variety of things. Jaybird's got some auction items, and in future shows we're going to be showing you things that you can bid on online right here from the auction gallery at Boca Raton. It's going to be very exciting. A lot of sporting memorabilia. Nobody better at securing sports memorabilia. And if you have a special item, I know you can grab this for him, Jaybird.
Okay, whatever you need, we'll get it for you.
I mean, we've had some.
We know firsthand
ridiculous
what he's come through for us. As far as sports memorabilia goes.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible assignments we've given him. We need a signed Roberto Clemente jersey. The guy died in a plane crash. He wasn't signing crap. As he was going down in a noble effort there to help out people that were starving after a hurricane.
You're going to sign Michael Jordan. Not easy, my friend. Not easy.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys are giving me this Don Shula. I called my people. I said, "Get me a Don Shula."
Don Shula from the Colts.
Oh my goodness! This one's
Jaybirds on it. He's already got the.
I got feelers out there. We're working on it. 25.
All right, we got football playoffs. I know you're going to be in action. Never mind. We can just scratch the U out of here, and where your head really is the action gallery, and that's what this is. And so we're going to be in action over the weekend, Paulie man.
Wasn't from the get-go the whole playoffs? Each game impossible going in.
Impossible going in.
You like one side, you like the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, and some of the games ended up lucky if you won, unlucky if you didn't.
I was trying to make a case. The evil voice in my head was trying to make a case. You know how you had that argument. Right. You have the winning side. It's the Patriots.
Right.
And the evil voice is coming in going, but what about the Chiefs?
Right.
But that ended up being a burial. And this
kind of funny when the Chiefs put together their 2-minute offense to try to get back in the game and get an onside kick. I mean, can you take a little more time? Like what they were taking their time, tying their shoelaces, ordering a pastrami sandwich from the Gramercy Deli. I mean, come on.
So what do you think this week, Paulie man? I mean, let's
each game to me is a coin flip. But what's interesting, may I mention his name? One of the greats, Mark Lawrence.
Oh yes.
I won't say who he likes because I don't know who he likes, but I know one of his theories that he espouses to is in play in both games. His leaking oil theory, when a team gets outgained by the opposition, but still wins.
Mark Lawrence.
But this works, the leaking oil. So the Patriots are super leaking oil, as are Carolina Panthers. Last 3 games, both of them have been really outgained by the opposition. 3 games apiece, so that's big. So maybe you could read a little more into it. You have to do your own handicapping. With Carolina, they open up 31-0, and then they sort of pull in the reins. But interesting theory by Mark Lawrence.
I'm more curious about this Manning-Brady matchup. Lawrence, by the way, had a theory that was so on the money, and of course I bet against it. Because fueled like you guys are by my own desire for self-sabotage, I ignored an enormous trend. I mean, you couldn't get a better one. It applied to the Redskins opening game in the playoffs, and the Redskins were facing into a trend, or playing into a trend so negative Somebody wants to drive through your window here. I think that car's blocking the way. It is Boca. But anyway, teams that had won 4 games or less the previous season that subsequently made the playoffs in the next season. Teams that had won 4 games or less the previous season made the playoffs the next season were 1-16 in their playoff game. And they played in a wild card game, and the Redskins were facing that. They had won 4 games, made the playoffs, a paltry 9-7,
right.
And the fact that they were about to get annihilated by Green Bay,
they was a hot team going in. The line was fluctuating around.
And they were winning early in the ball game.
And Green Bay, you looked to have some holes and some health issues, but boy, did that hold up, that Mark Lawrence theory.
Oh my God! Of course, I bet against it heavily, and live to regret it. Come on through, young lady. We have...
young lady works for me.
Yes, we have the Miss Boca Raton competition is actually taking place right around the corner here, and several of the contestants you may see rolling through the shot here on the casual presentation that we're giving. But I love the Brady versus Manning stuff, because I'm looking at Peyton Manning. This was my favorite thing. They were examining these passes like it was a Zapruder film. I mean, the announcers, they're going back over 1,000 replays. It looked like disqualification at Aqueduct on a cold day when you really need the 6, and he shouldn't come down, but he does. Sure. They're trying to determine, well, was that ball tipped at the line of scrimmage? Did so-and-so put a big fat hand on it and bat it down?
Or was it just a duck?
Duck Blanken, I mean, American sportsmen. You're talking about, 3 drunks with shotguns.
If you saw the post-game interview with him, though, it was sort of like, what do you think? Let's just say the defense has been carrying us. He knows he's, shot fighter, as you would say.
Well, what do you think? I mean, this is, one of those horse racing things where you see some horse that you went down in flames on like 20 times years ago, and somehow here he is on a simulcast at Piedmont Park or something, some track you never heard of.
You found Argentina Tango at Charlestown in the 5th race.
Charlestown and ran another pathetic, non-menacing 4th, I might add. But all of a sudden you ask yourself, does the old plater still have one left in him? Does he have one left in the tank? I can't imagine what it'd be like if he goes to the Super Bowl, but sure looked like a shot fighter to me from like the midway point of last season on. I don't know. Can he do it with mirrors against?
Who knows? They got a serious defense, and but like the Patriots, the Patriots gets the, when you used to make 9 men on the side for your softball team, give me the fat kid and stick him in right field. Patriots, just stick this guy in. Is he on the roster? I don't know. Put him in.
Come on through. This is, again, part of the Miss Boca Raton competition taking place right here in front of the auction gallery of Boca Raton. And nice of you to sponsor the swimsuit competition.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, could be the winner. So far, the winner.
I think she's the winner so far.
The winner in the clubhouse. Yeah. We'll let the people you'll be able to vote online out there. Future shows here from the auction gallery. All right, the other game you got, Carson Palmer. Well, I'll never forget, I'm at the, what was the Orange Bowl game, it was at Sun Life Stadium. And USC is playing like some schmanky team from the Midwest, Iowa. The Hawkeyes are in town. And Carson Palmer is one of the few USC quarterbacks that could really throw the rock. Most of them were kind of cutesy, schmootsy types that finessed their way in. And Paul McDonald, another guy way out of the past, never really made it as a pro quarterback. Sanchez obviously was just, well, you can relate to this with your Eagles. Oh my God. What is it like? I mean, you're the head coach of the team, and this genius, this freaking genius, Chip Kelly, and you go, okay, we got a quarterback there, Sammy. And he goes, Sanchez playing it. Fuck, what am I going to do now? You're completely discombobulated. But Palmer threw a pass in that game to open it up. I think they opened with a bomb, which is my favorite strategy in any kind of football game. Never mind this, let's establish the run. Let's throw a bomb down the field, see what happens.
Get them on their toes right
away. Even if they pick it off, who cares? We'll send the defense out there and stop them. And he throws a pass, from here to like the Dairy Queen over there, whatever that is. Oh, it's a dry cleaner.
Same thing.
And I'm thinking, my God, this guy's a monster. But I didn't realize this. He had never won a playoff game.
Yeah,
as long as he's been in the league. He was the Marvin Lewis of quarterbacks. And does he go into Carolina and find a way to win this game?
I think both games are toss-ups. I don't have any opinion. Looking forward to watching both of them. What do you think, Jim?
I'm leaning towards Carolina. I think it's their year.
Maybe they're just that good, and this is their year.
They are that
Everyone
good.
keeps doubting them. I saw the consensus
Yeah.
pre-season. Remember, no Kelvin Benjamin. What kind of GM? They didn't do nothing. They lose their top receiver. They gave him no
Everybody
help.
thought they were gonna suck.
6 wins. I think the consensus of 30 top handicappers were landed on 6 wins for the.
My question is, with all these openings of coaches, how come Mike Shula hasn't gotten any play?
Could be because he's Mike Shula. That's possible. I talked to a guy about that, actually, an informed source. Which is rare for me, because we usually have a deformed source that
he's done a hell of a job.
Well, and you know what? That first half, I was thinking this during the first half of that game, Carolina, when they put up the 31 spot on Seattle, which was supposed to be a great defense. We didn't know if their offense was up to speed because Lynch had tailed off and whatever. And I'm thinking, my God, this guy is calling a freaking masterpiece. You couldn't have put together, if you were Boris Spassky
Absolutely not.
I mean, you couldn't have put together better moves to go out there and win a game. And I started thinking, well, we hired a guy that was sort of in the same boat, maybe with a little less experience, because Shula had actually been a head coach in Alabama, which is no soft spot to have to land in. Look at the pressure there. Saban's going out of his mind. He doesn't know what to do with himself, even though he wins every year. So Shula was under some criticism, but Jason Cole of the Bleacher Report, he actually speaks with Mike Shula from time to time, had a connection down here from his days in Miami. And he said he may not want to be a head coach in the NFL. Maybe he's one of these guys like the Jaybird assistants that are perfectly content to make a large amount of cash, have a nice quiet life.
They make a lot more cash than I do.
They don't have to worry about the overhead. They don't have to worry about the landlord just whack the rent by triple, or the city of Boca's coming. You're making too much money, so you got to start paying off some people, whatever it happens to be. And maybe. Yeah, I didn't mean to delve too into the truth. Who's that behind the pole, by the way? Is that another Miss Boca?
He's got one of those badges on.
I'm incognito also.
We don't take off the shades during the show for a reason. Polar Man looks like it's fine. No, but he didn't really. He might be one of those guys that's happy being, in the game at a high level. He's probably getting paid $1 million a year, whatever, maybe more as a pro offensive coordinator. And there'll be some bonus action for him. He's going to be highly regarded, but that maybe he just doesn't want to do it. Right. Because the guys that were out there certainly weren't,
Oh my God!
I was looking for El Chapo to get an interview for a couple of these jobs.
Look who my Eagles picked. I don't.
But El Chapo, if he took the head job, he wanted Sean Penn as his offensive coordinator.
Can you imagine, man? You're riding in the trunk there to do this interview for Rolling Stone, which comes out and it's a disaster. Like, no, everybody's panning.
And he didn't even know who Sean Penn was. The Babe.
Look how many people and what kind of people women have done in. Here's a guy who escaped from 2 maximum security prisons. 2 occasions. They already knew to watch the guy from the first time. He slips into the shower, which he happens to have in his own little area there, and somehow it's the only thing that's out of view of the massive number of cameras. They had more cameras there than we do here shooting the show. And he manages to avoid detection, get by the federales, and slip away into the mountains. But his just outrageous obsession with this soap opera star does him in.
Does him in.
So
now
true.
they're going to try.
It ain't the first time.
We ain't the first time.
You guys can both attest to.
Oh boy.
You had ruination from a woman?
Who, me?
Yeah. I didn't realize.
Oh, many. But my theory. I just get engaged. You get married. So, we do it a little differently.
We're totally on the opposite wavelength.
Yeah.
You get engaged right away. I get married right away.
Well, I get engaged when the pressure starts to come.
This time I waited.
This time I waited 6 months.
We have one guy, though. I mean, this is the ultimate. You talk about the Dennis Rodman Award for being the best rebounder in the league. It's your partner here who went back and married the woman that he previously was married to. Gary, and
perfect time to sit
and he comes back. Can we get Gary in the shot?
Get Gary in the shot.
Sure.
Yeah, Gary. I don't know if you want to tell your story, but you came back and married the same woman again.
I still have nightmares about it.
Who doesn't? Which one?
I don't know what I was thinking, but I was apparently down a block from where you went.
Little Chapel of the Bells. Yeah.
I was at Little Chapel, and you were at.
Well, I'm going now to the Little Chaplet of Flowers because I figure it's going to change my luck.
Okay.
This gentleman, go on through, yeah. This gentleman is not a contestant.
No, he's not a contestant in the Miss Boca contest.
Competition, but he may be dating one of the contestants.
Possibly.
He looked the part.
Oh,
He had that Boca look to him. I mean, like, yes. My good friend is Miss Boca Raton.
Looked like Artie Bucco from the chef from The Sopranos.
I think
Can you
it
really
was
get Botox treatments on the corner here instead of like buying flowers?
Anything you want at this place.
Down where Polyman is, it's churros, right? I mean, you can get churros and what's that other thing in a little cone-shaped thing that they sell? That churros?
Churros.
On the street, yeah.
Oh yeah, churros.
And it used to be the days where you could buy skinned limes.
Yeah, sure.
And you're thinking to yourself, when I first came to Miami,
How did he skin the orange and sell it to you right there, that big giant?
Oh yeah, that
skinned.
yeah.
They got right on the corner. They got that little machine.
It's a little machine, yeah.
you stopped at a red light and you're thinking to yourself, damn it, I'm out of limes. You know, and it just happened to me. But
Last week I got hit with the mix-up of lemon limes when I first went into Dade County, being the lone gringo, and I love all the people that I absolutely love them. And I was told to get lemons, so I brought back yellow lemons.
Yeah.
Many in South America, Cuba. It's all the green stuff, the limes. So I came back with a dozen lemons as told, and they said, "What happened?
What
You
is
were
this?"
supposed to get me lemons." I said, "This is lemons." And with it became a big kind of thing, like, but this is lemons. What are you talking about? This is lemons. So 7 years later, last week, the same thing happened with a waitress in the midst of a thing. Can you just do me a favor? There's a cup of lemons, sliced lemons inside. Could you just give me? And it was a cup of lemons and a cup of limes. So I brought out the lemons. She says, "What's this?" I told you, a cup of lemons. I said, "This is lemons," you know. But one of the many down south.
Yes,
You ever see a lemon the size of a basketball? A gigantic.
Not that big, but recently I saw it.
In Italy.
Lemons the size of a basketball?
Bigger.
But there's a big controversy now about counterfeit food.
Friends.
Italy.
It's a joke.
You gotta be careful with that.
What's this?
I never saw anything like
Wow.
Unbelievable.
World traveler, my friend Gary.
Oh, he's all over. That's how he
traveler.
gets all these artistic pieces. The word is auction, and it's the auction gallery at Boca Raton here. The Jaybird, the proprietor, Gary.
Gary's our art consultant.
Chief of acquisitions.
Chief of acquisitions.
Can he sniff a fraud out?
I'm very proud of him.
Can he sniff out a fraud?
Very proud of him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he can sniff out a
and
fraud.
downs and all the problems over the years, he's really bounced back better than you can imagine.
No doubt about it.
Better than you can imagine.
No one gets out of a jackpot.
Got a great
like the
rapport.
Jaybird,
Got a great rapport with all his
Well,
previous clientele.
he's
and,
a people person.
Right. I saw one day I was here. A customer came by. Just a slight thing, wasn't a big money thing. Little flag on the place, something. Wanted to know, can I possibly, would you take it back? In other words, and sometimes in business it's that cut and dry kind of thing that never works. And Jaybird said, "This is a great customer, no problem."
No problem.
Just
He hadn't even got to the word
right.
back. He
What do you
only
call
said my money.
What do you call
and
the
Jaybird had
section
a
that
check.
you have over here in the corner?
Over here on the right, we put our fine customers. We call it the Meshuggah section.
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
Yeah, we have a
And then
Meshuggah section.
he'll say, "Listen, if the people on the right are not bidding, would you please get up and stop eating? Go buy your own lunch."
A lot of
City,
free food here at the
We got a lot of
Jaybird.
schnorrs
But
coming.
I wouldn't let too many
like
people know that,
They
yeah.
like it. That people come for entertainment.
Sure.
Not
Very
just
good.
to buy antiques
Sure.
and jewelry.
Oh no,
but they come
Jaybird
for
is the
fun.
top entertainer when it comes
They
to
come
this
for
sort of
fun.
thing. I'm amazed. The show will eventually follow Duck Dynasty into
yeah.
television history.
Absolutely,
The auction
definitely.
man with the Jaybird.
It's gonna be picked up.
I wanted to
Working on
bring
that.
up a little
I can
about-
see already he's a natural with the camera, so
Yes.
that's a big
Wanted to
plus.
bring up, me and Jake talked about it years ago when it happened with when the auction reality shows got real hot.
Oh,
porn
yeah.
stars. But what happened in Storage Wars was pretty ridiculous. That was A&E now, a really top station, well-respected station, right? And what they were doing with Storage Wars with the people on the show, the people that would bid were the same people each week. This was the cast. They were putting, A&E was behind it, what do you call it, salting.
They were salting the thing.
They were putting phony materials in each storage one.
Right, absolutely.
They would only, the ones you saw, they were the only ones that won the bids.
I bought my share of storage bins, and believe me, those things are not in them.
And in each one, Depot, one, okay, look at this old broken lamp. Oh, look at this is more. And then at the end is stacks of newspapers, right? And then and the person will lift up the newspapers and says, Oh my Lord! Then they go to commercial,
Right, commercial.
and they come back and there's a Mercedes-Benz
That's like you said.
underneath. But what happened? The key guy there, Dave Hester.
Dave Hester,
who had
sure.
they fired him, and
Right.
he came back and he actually said about the show. This
Another
is a
Miss
fix.
Boca
Another
Raton.
Miss Boca
Come on, make a
contestant.
little brief camera appearance.
Camera shy.
Little camera shy. That's not good for the personality segment.
She
But,
she gets my vote.
But
Right now, she's the leader in the
She's
club.
definitely-
this Dave Hester came back.
Two women were 90.
Oh,
Dave Hester came back, right?
No, they were very lovely.
Very
Yes.
lovely.
Yeah, Dave Hester.
Dave Hester came back and was actually, blew the whistle on it. It's all fake. It's all this. It's all that. So it happened. Big lawsuit, major
Right.
lawsuit.
Right.
It ends up they bring him back, right?
As the host?
No, they bring him back as the top bidder again. His keyword was what? Yup.
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 Yup. So blew the whistle on him big time. The whole thing was a scam, a fraud. But what happened then recently, just 6 months ago,
Right.
he gets in a
right
fight
with a fight with the auctioneer.
with
right.
the auctioneer, throwing punches.
Like a physical.
Yeah. He throws a punch, hits the auctioneer neck. The auctioneer knocks him out. And then the auctioneer's wife, who's also on the show, it's his wife in real
She's
life,
also an auctioneer.
jumps on him and scratches him so bad he had to get sent for tetanus shots.
Wow.
So there's action on the set, Depot.
Yes,
This is like
yes.
more than, like Mission Impossible 4 or something. And then unfortunately,
That's why,
the
Jay
auctioneer,
Reddit
Dave
goes through
Dodson,
hell.
I believe is his name,
Yeah.
a few days later
Right.
suffers a brain aneurysm.
Little known fact about.
This is a dangerous business.
Little known fact.
What are we
But
doing?
Jay Bird
I
knows
gotta go.
Jay Bird knows karate. Jay Bird.
Nice being with you people, and we'll see you next week
Many
from
years
somewhere
ago,
else.
Jay
Yeah.
Bird studied under Chuck Norris.
That's
Don't
right.
mess with
He has
auctioneers.
karate instincts. There's no
No,
question.
but little known fact in regard to Storage Wars. 5 years ago, they contacted a friend of mine. They were interested in doing Star Wars Miami.
Yes.
And we came up with the premise, let's have two of us. One of us will go down to buy the storage bin, and then I will auction it off that with the items that we buy.
right.
And they loved it, absolutely loved it. 3 interviews later, I was picked for the show.
Really exciting.
And I was all excited. Then they decided, we're going to nix Miami. We're going to go to Texas. We're going to do Storage War Texas, and then it was all. Then 2 years ago, I get a call from A&E. We found your footage. We're going to be doing this new pilot over here in Florida on condo commandos, and we want you to do a road show.
Yeah, that was a good
Okay,
concept. That
so
was funny.
I went over there and I did the whole pilot for that on the floor. So here I am. I'm back in the office.
with Storage Wars, as you say, so dangerous.
Stardom was so close there.
Yes, with,
I was
it
this
was right around the
close.
corner.
I could have been a star.
with the
Yeah.
Storage Wars in Texas.
All of a sudden, they bring in Mickey Dolenz to
Yeah.
play drums, and you're done,
Yeah.
right?
the one in Texas, there was tragedy also.
Yeah.
The young guy, the bidder,
Young guy, yeah.
gets caught with drugs. 2
Right.
days later, kills himself.
Killed
you know.
himself, yeah.
These are regulars on Jay's
Right.
favorite show, Storage Wars.
Right. It's and then these the other ones. You got the porn stars that put it on the map. Yeah, that's all staged.
Yeah,
too.
me and Defoe used to laugh. I'm sure the guy with the $1 million Stradivarius is walking through the bad part of Las Vegas like 2 in
Right,
the morning.
right.
Let me see if I had a porn
Just
star.
happens to be at
over
Johnny
here.
Taco's gym
Yeah.
watching a Tyson workout. He's got a rare Stradivarius in his backpack, that he picked out of the trunk of a car that doesn't run anymore. But
But
that's reality TV.
Yeah,
though.
it's
all a
reality
bunch of
TV,
crap.
but,
I mean, these people couldn't possibly hang out with each other if all they did was fight with each other the way that they do.
But you never know. Like Rick says in the porn stars, you never know what's going to come in.
Oh, that's true.
And in fact, just yesterday, guy comes in.
What do you got here? By the way, I mean, there it is. I mean, the key word obviously is auction. The auction gallery at Boca Raton. We've already seen the absolute immense amount of personal traffic that's filtering by this mall here. And you
Yeah,
can pick
just
up great
yesterday, a guy comes in. He says, "I happen to have a Miami Hurricanes championship ring for
Jimmy Johnson?
For Jimmy Johnson's
Off his ring?
Well, it wasn't Jimmy Johnson. It was Charlie Henry, the
Charles Henry, the
Charles
tight end.
Henry,
Good
the
player,
tight
good player,
end.
yeah.
He made it with. He was at the Dolphins after that for a couple of years.
How unfortunate.
You said, these are gorgeous. These
Yeah,
rings.
those are great.
So you never know what's going to come in. That's the fun part about
If
this.
you're a Hurricane fan.
Now
that'll be up for sale?
This will be up in our auction on the 31st of January.
People should notice.
And forget about 10, 20,000 of what these things are worth. We're going to start the bidding at $3,000.
3 dimes?
3 dimes.
You want to go 1,500 apiece, Mark?
You know what? young guy buys this. It says, "I was with the Hurricanes." This is a ticket to every babe in the world.
That is a pie factory, you're saying. Yes, my name is Charles. Is his name written on the thing?
It says Henry on there.
Okay.
When I used to come with, what are you? When I'm an accountant, I'm this, and I used to say I'm a jockey agent.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'd say, "You were a jockey?" Yeah, I was a jockey. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was me, I'm Jerry Bailey.
By the end of the night, I won 3 Kentucky Derbies, 2 Breeders' Cups.
What do I look like? Joe Bravo to you? I mean, what are you talking about? One thing we got to get into also, we're out here again at the Auction Gallery of Boca Raton, the Jaybird, proprietor here, Gary, his partner. They're just, really knocking it out of the park here. The people at the mall itself here have to be happy that you're here.
They are.
All the traffic that you guys are generating on those Sundays.
We generate a lot of traffic, and everybody here is happy with us. We do a lot of business with the Gramercy, and that's world famous. You can't get it. It's a 3-hour wait here on a Sunday morning.
Deli?
The deli.
How's that potato knish?
The potato knishes are second to none.
Right on the money.
Well, except for New York, maybe. But it's delicious. Here comes another Miss Boca contestant right here.
Excellent. Come right on through.
All right, young lady.
Very good. Yeah, come right on through. Don't be camera shy. Might have to sign a waiver though if you get too much camera time. Another Miss Boca Raton contestant rolling through here. All right. This is right up our alley. I mean, I love this stuff, and unfortunately, it affects a sport that I really enjoy. And I'm a big tennis fan. I like getting out there and playing, and I like watching it. But this is the great aspect of it. The sickness of the degeneracy that has led to this controversy about fixing matches in tennis is not actually like necessarily fixing matches.
Right.
Now is this, you guys would notice, and I was trying to figure this out this morning, is this unique to Europe, or can any schmank that has an online account bet in-game wagers on events that are taking place where they allow such things, which apparently in Europe it's commonplace that the game's already started.
Right.
And you're not even betting like quarterly over-unders or halftime scores. You're actually betting like, does the guy hit a drop shot here, as opposed to hitting a forehand cross court. Now, I don't know how quickly you have to get this in, but apparently this fixing started with this in-game betting where they're offering a guy, maybe he's on a satellite tour. You hear stories about it where, some guy's really like a legitimate tennis player. He wins a satellite tournament in some small area like Jacksonville. The prize money's $800 for winning the tournament, and he paid $1,200 to go to the tournament.
Sure.
So he wins and he loses, right? It's a Joe Pesci thing in Raging Bull. So naturally, these guys would be, possibly vulnerable to somebody coming up. Want to look maybe like Vito and saying, "Hey, would you take 10,000 to double fault on the first point?" Right? 10,000 to what? Double fault on the first point? You want me to lose? No, just double fault on the first point. Then go ahead and do whatever it is you're going to do. So naturally, the guy's going to be tempted to say, yeah, of course, throw a double fault in there. And that's what they're doing. I mean, and massive amounts of money
look what
are being bet.
They did with the soccer leagues, low-level soccer leagues that you can bet on. No-name players and everything. And when the got a certain Italian team, and the goalie, when he spilled the whole beans, and then the whole team did, what they were making off this was unbelievable. Like you say, like
how can anybody take this much action on these weirdo propositions?
And they actually said though that the money bet was not coming from Europe, was coming from the Far East, from China, and
I didn't see that.
Some of the big
fueled by sales of China white high school kids.
And they said its story ended that the thing they really would like to target is maybe United States college sports, like college kids again.
You still go out and win the game, whatever.
But it's so amazing the money they were making, and it's a key. What you have to have in a soccer was you have to have the goalie involved. You know, so you got to get the goalie, and then he says, I try to get at least three more players on a team. That'll do it. But in certain instances, when the stakes were high, we also brought in a referee. So you had the referee and the goalie.
You got everybody that you need. I mean, if they're betting on individual, what would it be? Bowling, right? In
like
cricket,
tennis, there's no partners, there's no nothing. It's you know. You can do this
see
one.
Some kid that knows he's going to be lucky to cash for 400. Somebody throws 10 grand in front of him to say, hey, listen, you're going to get up. If you get up in the second set, you're going to lose that set. We need you to get ahead and then drop the set. Then you come back. You want to win a match? That's fine. We don't have a problem with that. But now it's seeped up into the point where they're saying there are at least 8 or 10 people that are under a serious watch that are in the draw at the Australian Open, a Grand Slam event.
Wow!
And now they're starting to put cameras and microphones in like Roger Federer's face and Andy Murray and you know, anyone that they were dragging up guys. I mean, I think they even had like, hey, Rod Laver, what do you think about match fixing? They're talking to John Newcomb on this. I mean, guys that are dead. But obviously, you know, it's a serious taint on the game if you're thinking there were guys in the field that are either tanking matches or sets or you know, even jeopardizing the integrity of the game.
And like you say, in many instances, it's not even.
Do I need to mention another candidate, Miss Boca Raton? Or was she already a previous candidate?
No. She's an honorable mention.
Who's your favorite so far? A young man working the camera here. That one? Okay.
Me too.
That was it. She takes down the Miss Boca.
Okay.
Do we have the sachet, or did you auction that off at the last auction?
Well, we auctioned.
You got cleaned up.
We already cleaned up.
But you were saying, Polyman.
Go ahead.
No, that a lot of the matches where big money was being made, wagered on, and so-called fixed winners in was like, you know, Smith versus Jones. Who are these guys? No one even knows. These were unranked guys. But you know, it was taking it. There was money to be made, easily to pull off, because these are guys, like you said, that probably ain't going to make any money in the next 2 years.
We know some sickos, right? I mean, you know people that are betting halftime WNBA scores, over-unders.
Yeah.
The number of points Diana Taurasi's going to have in the championship round. I mean, these are sick bets, but this goes beyond the scope of our wildest imagination. And imagine if you could just sit home. Because how many times every sports fan does the same thing, right? I guarantee he's going to pass the ball this time. Imagine if you could just punch this up, and while they're watching a football game, nobody would ever leave the house.
That's an interesting concept.
But, Molly, man, you would know this. I mean, you know almost anything there is about the gambling industry. Is that something you can do in the United States, this in-game betting?
Many of them, if you hit one of the sites, if you're looking, where you see it is when you're looking for the lines, you know, for the football games, any kind of looking for the lines, and then they'll show the lines from 7 different places, and then you might be interested in the lines. You like how the lines have been set up from one place, and you hit it, and it'll automatically go to their betting site. And many of them are outside the country, and then there'll be a little something that, you know, I'm sorry, cannot wager from the United States.
Something
but I'm sure some you can probably. I wouldn't know, but
you got some degenerate rabbi somewhere outside of Siberia with a shade full of diamonds ready to hammer it on Davidenko.
Every time I see William Hill, one of the biggest, was in our 20-year anniversary coming up in a few weeks. One of the maybe 1 out of 2 people that pulled up lame and didn't pay us was William Hill.
Oh yeah.
Right? And with the great, remember with the great, there was a great line was, wow, the salesman ran away with the money. Okay, that's nice. But you know, we had a big sponsor in William Hill.
Who was the guy that got whacked? The Greek guy that owned Miami Subs. That was the only other time we were horrified. Gus Poulos was the guy's name, yeah.
Did he have the gambling ship too?
He had Sun Cruise, and they had a casino on there, and the Polyman. That was one of the worst beats we ever suffered. Was
no, we got the push. We
thought we lost the game, and we were sure we lost the game. We lost the Florida Gator game, right? So this was part of a 2-team parlay.
Georgia Tech,
right?
Notre Dame.
We're down, you know, a little depressed because this obviously was our appearance fee was obviously already buried along several of the $100 that we had taken onto the ship.
And Notre Dame now, after Georgia Tech failed, Notre Dame is going to take a couple of knees from. They were on their 39, not on their 5.
We were done,
right? On the 39, and then the ship went to port and this and that. You know, the game went off and we didn't have to watch the last 2. It's talking about a couple of knees. We didn't know if we had a timeout or not left. And then of all people, you know who's on that ship? The Dominator.
The Dominator.
The Dominator had, in the early days of the sports ticker there,
word
he was getting all the...
started to circulate that we had won.
And the quarterback ran 30 yards back for a purposeful safety, and we covered by a half a point.
And now we have a winning ticket, but we come to the sportsbook guy there, which, I mean, it was under some shady circumstances that this sportsbook even existed.
Well, let's put it this way. The sportsbook was a...
That's not even strong enough.
Let's put it this way.
No, I would say the sportsbook was a hired in, you know, was...
it was an outside entity. Well, Poulos, I don't think he's going to come back with any retribution if we, you know, disparage his name, because, you know, I don't know, he got hosed on this probably too, and then later whacked, you know, but anyway, we were in port, and so they couldn't cash our ticket, which we didn't know had won until so now we have to come back on the ship. All right, so a friend of mine, in the meantime, that night, we're watching the news, and who's being taken away in handcuffs with a coat over their head? But the two guys that ran the sports book. So now there's no chance to get paid. We're out like the 200 we would have won or whatever it was, plus the 200 because we had to put it up. We're in a sports book. It wasn't like,
up, it ain't that
with some bookie, you had to throw the 200 on the table to make
you win
the bet.
200, you're getting back 420.
I think that's the winner. The Miss Boca Raton
Well, one thing's for
competition.
sure, we're going to be inside next time.
I'm kind of enjoying the traffic here, although it seems
This is one of the good things about this
the
location.
demographic is not great, but
we get 20, 30 people
Good for
a
you.
day in the
good.
gallery. It's incredible. I mean,
What are you selling?
what are you doing here? I never knew you were here.
Can I get a facial here?
Yeah.
While I'm waiting.
You know what was interesting? There was an arcade.
That's
here
not the
before.
kind of crowd you get.
There was an arcade here
There was an
before.
arcade.
you came in.
Oh yeah. A lot of kids coming out.
Okay, another contestant for our
Come on through.
podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Come on through. We have no problem with that.
No problem at all.
But anyway, so to make a long story even longer, because we got a lot of time to fill in the show. But I mean, only it could happen to us, like the Polyman, you, me, where now the bookies have been
But
arrested.
they made good the money, right? They made good a few weeks later.
Well, I
right?
mean, it was a little awkward, yeah. So I got a friend who's a statistician for the Heat, and he does a lot of statistical work on the pro games that are taking place in town in UM. And he says he was also a blackjack dealer on the Sun Cruise. He said he'd heard my story. I was talking about it on the radio. He says, "Listen, I think I can get you guys your money." Because Gus Boulis himself is going to be on the ship on like Wednesday night. Come out Wednesday. He likes guys in the media. He'll probably make good on the thing. So we'll tell him the story and he'll give you the money. I'm saying, okay, good. It's worth taking a shot on that. Meanwhile, I'm going to lose it on the 600 while I'm out there shooting craps. But anyway, so my friend Steve introduces me to Gus Boulis, and he's having a meeting with I don't know, it had to be, if it was one, it was like 6 really ferocious and just despicable looking Russian guys, and they're having a conversation, and I don't know what language it was in, but it wasn't a pleasant one. Right. And so I'm thinking, well, this is probably not a good time for a little putsy me to go up there and go, "Oh, Gus, I got smoked by your casino when it was on the ship here. Can you give me the money back?" So I lay off on that, and this thing got really heated, and I walk away. I figure I'm not even going to do this. I told the Polyman that I'm just going to back out at the moment of truth. And sure enough, Gus comes over later after this conversation, and he says, "Well, Steve told me what was happening. He hands me 4 black chips." So he makes good on the thing. And the next day, they shot him in the head.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, what the hell are they talking about?
I was,
it couldn't have been good, right?
That boat was lucky. I was 2 for 2 because that was the one win that you never win.
Yeah.
Like you went our way. Come on, 39-yard line.
Takes a knee going backwards. Yeah.
Backwards. But the other one was another night I went out was Syracuse College Hoops, getting 1.5 from Louisville, and I
like when they pull up in U-Hauls.
Oh, yeah.
Good sign.
This
Yeah.
is one of our shippers.
Yes.
Come on
through.
Taylor.
Come on through.
Three
Judging
contestants
the,
for our Miss Boca contest.
Mr. and Miss Boca competition
contests.
right here.
So,
Yes. Stop on in. He's got some great stuff.
So Syracuse versus Louisville in a pick'em game. I think I got 1.5, and this is the kind of game you win. You look up and it's into the second half, and Syracuse was winning by 40.
Wow.
And again, couldn't cash that night because came in from the limit. Where you're not allowed to do any transactions then. So, but I went a few nights later.
Good. Yeah. No, you also had a big night, didn't you? This is Jaybird material with the dice SWAT team that night. Where these guys went on a ship and some lady held the dice. You would love this, Jay.
Really? How long?
A lady held the dice for the first 45 minutes that the boat was
I
out.
believe that.
From the start. I mean, the first roll, she's rolling everything. Hardways, this, yo's, snake eyes.
And it was the grand opening of whatever boat that was.
Boxcars.
And it was the station brought all their clientele,
We brought all of our people in there.
and we brought the Seven
brought the
Brothers, the
Dice
Billy
SWAT team,
Brothers.
yeah.
Oh, the Billy Brothers.
Yeah. Who,
we didn't
Jay
wanna-
introduced us to them.
We
Yeah.
didn't want to look at us in the usual fashion. We're doing a radio promotion, trying to get something going, kind of like we're doing here. And every
Right,
guy say,
right.
"Hey, Paulie, I thought you had a following."
Yeah.
So So we brought our own shill guys onto the ship there, and they were players anyway. They enjoyed playing. But lady, I mean, just arbitrarily, no craps experience, just having a fall on her.
Defoe won after the night. Defoe won 1,500. You were the low man, the low winner on the
Right,
team.
I was embarrassed to say what I had taken down that night.
That's how they killed him.
And the best was though, you know how you used to go on these kind of one-day cruises. Princess, what was that?
Right.
Palm Beach Princess and some of that stuff. Usually they're all smiles as you're getting off the ship there. They assemble like the Love Boat crew. And they're like, oh, okay, hope you had a good time. Come on back and see us. And you're depressed as hell. You just blew everything you had. And you're thinking, I'll never come back on this thing again. It was like the Poseidon Adventure of Cash. And sure enough, we see these people. They're lined up.
You should have saw it.
Oh my God, their faces
lined up
were
all with
ashen
their
white.
heads down. Some with like the admiral uniform, waitresses. They were supposed to welcome up to board. They all had their heads down. They all got reamed out like it was their fault that some woman put a streak on like
the table had to lose 60 pounds.
Remember going out? It was like going through to everyone with their head down, like it was like Barbara Streisand was coming through. Don't look at her eyes. Don't look her in the face.
Great stuff.
Speaking of the cruises, I'm going to give our audience out here my secret.
Should you? I don't know if you should.
I'm going to give my secret.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to give my secret to how you get free cruises.
Excuse me.
I get 4 free cruises a year from Carnival. Okay, and how I do it? I go on the boat.
This is what he does. I don't know if you want to give this out.
And you scream, fire!
I get on the boat. I come on the boat with 10 dimes.
10 dimes?
10 dimes.
Oh, and register in the cage there?
I put 5 dimes up every hour or two, play a couple little bets,
right?
Cash in, go to the cage, get my money. At the end of the cruise, I bought in for 75 dimes.
Oh, nice. So you look like the high roller,
The next morning when I'm checking out...
He's even. He's up $4.
Mr. Keelstein,
$4 down for the... They send champagne. They send champagne to the table. You get free dinners.
That's great.
And every time when I come in, there's a letter in my mailbox. You have 2 weeks to call up and use this cruise within the next 3 months for free.
That's a great scam.
What a scam. But you didn't hear it from me, guys.
No, you did. That's the beauty of it, man. I mean, the guy's honest. He's telling you the truth.
It works. It works. You know,
looks like a high roller. It's always good. Look prosperous.
Everything is in appearance only. Look at us.
That's the way to go. All right. Well, anything else, Paulie, you wanted to bring to the table today in particular, or?
Are we running out of time? Or
We're getting near the end here, and
just quickly about what your quick thoughts about the NBA.
Yes.
Where the West, the last few years. Okay, before Golden State popped on the scene, the Spurs were no gimme. Everyone thought they were dead, but of course they weren't. So you had 6-7 teams in the West, right? That holy mackerel, Portland's coming on, Dallas is good, this one, and so on. And then you had the LeBron Heat, Dwayne Wade Heat on the East. But now it sure looks like there's maybe 3 teams in the whole thing that can maybe win it. Golden State, San Antonio, the Cavaliers who embarrassed the other night. I mean, there ain't much else really.
It's too.
The real season is kind of like the Michiganers.
Yeah,
it's too many teams.
That should be the other teams in the league. Should all be named the Michiganers.
Too many teams. It's too diluted.
Yeah,
the product is diluted.
How did Riley? No, he wasn't here then. How did these guys? And there were Jews that were in the ownership. How did they get by
the Miami Michiganers?
Miami Michiganers.
There you go. Let's buy the team.
It would be popular everywhere because the Michiganers are in town. You going? Yeah, they're fucking crazy. That'd be great. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm sort of a LeBron James fan because I like basketball, and obviously this guy's the best player and a dominant player. And if you were going to judge the MVP, if you had LeBron James and Steph Curry, they both show up at the park. It's 2-on-2. You and the Jay Bird have to pick a partner. Who are you taking? You're taking LeBron. Because, you're figuring Steph Curry misses one shot, the ball game's over. You're going to win.
With Mark Jackson's theory that Steph is ruining the game because everyone wants to just be a shooter like him. Yeah. I think just the opposite. When I'm doing my 4 miles at the park or playing One to the Blue Moon with the great Sebastian Cholo, the one thing I noticed, everyone can do crossovers and between their legs, like every kid walking down the street, but nobody could shoot.
Right.
Nobody could shoot. Now they could shoot, but it's funny because I guess in our day, right, you went up and hung in the air and then release. They tell me, oh, that's what Larry Bird, and this is what the young kids are telling me, that's what Larry Bird and everyone did. That's all the pressure was on your jump. But now it's the Steph Curry thing. They sort of let it go going up, right? Yes. It's a whole new thing. Deep was a real good shooter.
Holy Man can hoist him also. Holy Man can hoist him. I heard about Holy Man was a shoot from the waist, Gary Rogers type of guy. I mean, he was a throwback.
After not playing for 20 years, I did it.
And I'm a Jew, so I mean, you couldn't slide a piece of paper under my vertical leap. But no, but this is great for the Jews. Speaking of the Jews, and here we are in Boca. Because it's little guys running around shooting jumpers from the Coke machine, beating the best player in the game, and embarrassing him because you had enough of them that could hit some shots. That the game's changed totally in that regard. The missing thing, though, is the mid-range jumper. And those are the players that we liked the most. All right, been a pleasure being out here. The auction gallery of Boca Raton. The Jaybird doing a fine job.
We're going to be here every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. We're going to be streaming live on deforradio.com, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then what's the agenda coming up here at the gallery?
The agenda is, we're here every day to accept consignments. I'll always give you the right count.
What smells so good, by the way? Is that the deli?
That's the deli up the street.
My God.
If you need cash, we'll buy it from you, or else we can auction it for you. We pay off right away. Within 72 hours of the auction, you get your check. Our next auction is a week from Sunday, and from then forward, every other Sunday, all through season. As you can see, we've been here an hour. What did we get? About 20, 30 things came through the door.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's just an incredible thing. People are bringing us, and we're only accepting quality merchandise.
Entire estates.
Estates come in.
Right in.
Depo's Bozo, the head clown, didn't pass the cut.
Real quick funny story. I'm at a show a couple weeks ago, and I saw a bust, a paper mache bust of Alfred E. Newman.
Wow!
Remember Alfred?
Nice.
I go up to the guy.
And also was used as the Joe Robbie statue after he sold the team.
I said to the guy, I said, I like that. I mean, that's folk art. That's pretty cool. He said, give me $20. You know, I think brought over $300 here at the auction the other day. So, it's just fun thing. We have fun. We make it light. We cater. We give you champagne. We have wine. Come on out. Our address here is 15200. That's 15200 Jog Road. This is Suite B2. We're right here at the corner of Atlantic and Jog.
Really easy to get
right
to
on the border.
Do people jog on Jog Road?
They sure do.
They do. Okay.
It's right on we're right between Boca and Delray, right on the line. And our number here is 561-865-3444. If you have anything you want me to come to your house, I'll come to your house. If not, we'll see you again next Wednesday, and we're going to have all kinds of surprises and stuff. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. How's the split pea soup down there? Have that?
The mushroom barley's the best in the world.
That's not my favorite, but anyway, the Polyman Paul Massell, ladies and gentlemen. The auction man, Jay Keelstock, and doing great here, the auction gallery of Boca Raton. I'm Jeff Deforrest. Our thanks to our crew here from
thank
MTV.
You so much.
Freddie Fix-It. Do you call him Freddie Fix-It at home? No?
Yeah.
You just know him as Dad? He was in the tile business. Now all of a sudden he's Fellini. He's producing movies.
I read the young man's lips earlier when one of the Miss Boca candidates came by and you said, Jay said, next week we're going inside. Next week. And he said, thank God for that.
How many ugly women? No. All right, we'll see you next time here from the auction gallery of Boca Raton. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.